Hello, Dr. Janes-Bassett. We're going to talk a bit about virtual labs now and what they are. So I was wondering if you could tell us a bit about what a virtual lab is to you and how it fits with your work.
So, as an environmental scientist, I see a virtual lab as a sort of cloud-based, internet-hosted platform where we can put data in there and different bits of code and information, and lots of scientists can work together to try and understand things, analyse that data, further our scientific understanding. But also we can bring in different communities, like different stakeholders and practitioners, and virtual labs can act as a tool for communicating that science. What do you see from your perspective a virtual lab is, Dr. Simm?
So I've worked on virtual labs from the kind of tech side of things, and really they're trying to leverage all these new advances in technology like cloud. You mentioned cloud computing. What that really means is that people can come together around one place to collaborate on work, where they host the data, start analysing that data together in a collaborative space, and make use of other things out there in this cloud computing landscape, like maybe machine learning resource or massive data resource or modelling resource. So how has it kind of changed the way environmental scientists work, in your opinion? I mean, haven't you always worked collaboratively, or how is it evolving?
Yeah, I think it enhances that collaboration, and particularly across communities. So we are often quite siloed within individual disciplines, and realistically, environmental science, it needs to be more interdisciplinary. We need to interact more with environmental scientists, data scientists, statisticians, and so on. And I think it really brings those scientific communities together, but it also, as I mentioned, it can also bring those practitioners, the stakeholders in, which allows, it means our science has more impact, more uptake, more usability by some of these people. It's got greater relevance. And in integrating them into the part where we're actually producing the science, it means we're producing something that's more useful and more used at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I also think that in the way that all that science is hosted in a virtual lab, it's more open, so it's more available to anyone that wants to access it. It's easier to reproduce, which we could talk about different things about science and reliability and how much we trust that science. And it also allows that science to have a legacy and some longevity. It's not just written in a paper and published and then maybe not looked at for years. It stays there, and it's able to be used for a long time by more people. What do you think about the sort of the new technologies and developments that might be sort of enhancing virtual labs?
Yeah, so the virtual labs, I think, are in their infancy at the moment, really. A lot of the ones we've been working together on have been a place, an online place where you can come together with the data and start to analyse the data. But really, some of the new technologies out there in cloud computing, like some of the cloud native tools and the elastic compute nature of the cloud, means we could bring in perhaps more complex bits of code into that, and maybe even environmental models into that. So it can be one place where you can bring all your data, all your models together, and with resource available on computing resource available on demand, to allow you to really come together, as you say, with all the different stakeholders, the practitioners, even government agencies, businesses, scientists. Everybody can come together and get a particular view on a data set or an environmental science challenge, I suppose, and then go on, as you say, to reuse that code and reuse those things. But what's going to be required to do that, I think, is new kinds of software platform that can bring all these things together. Because at the moment there's no kind of structure to bring the models in alongside the data and the analysis and the different interfaces. So it's quite an exciting time to be working with virtual labs, I think, from my perspective, and I think from your perspective too.
Yeah, great chat.
Thank you very much.